Early cross maybe, no. I'll take on Davis instead. Now finds Ardiles. Crowd lifting themselves as Ardiles gets his little run going, but Sanson in the end was able to stop him. A mistake by Davis, and a shot by Crooks, saved by Jennings. And Paul Davis with an error inside his own penalty area, very nearly costing Arsenal a goal. That's Chris White, but it was Paul Davis who so nearly cost Arsenal dear. But Crooks' shot saved by Jennings. His heart was beating a little faster a moment ago. Sunderland, Nicholas, Miller, holding off Alan Sunderland, finding Ardiles. Ricky Villa, Galvin's made a great break down the left for him. Crooks is up alongside him as well. Garth Crooks with against the Arsenal crossbar, a tremendous shot. Arsenal backing away, and Crooks nearly made them pay the supreme price. Chris White with an acrobatic overhead, and it's all hands to the pump for the moment for Arsenal. They get a free kick now, though. What a tremendous shot by Garth Crooks as Arsenal backed away from him. Jennings beaten, but not the crossbar. Sunderland just turning it on. This might come for Davis. No, Perryman was there first. The challenge was strong, but Perryman was on his feet again quickly. And the referee calling Paul Davis to him. It was a rash rather than a malicious tackle, and the young man being told to calm it down a little bit. It was noticeable, though, how quickly Perryman was on his feet. It looked a terrible challenge, but he's a hardy fellow, and here he is now, number 6 on the ball again. Hoddle. It's a good, promising start, this, for Tottenham. And a lovely ball from Hoddle, who really looks to be on song. Perryman. Villa. Ardiles. Lost himself a little bit, but found his compatriot. Hoddle, who seems to be able to find anybody with ease at the moment. Ardiles. Crooks. And a shot. Oh! A terrible mistake by Jennings! Can't believe it! Crooks can't believe it either, and you can be sure Pat Jennings can't. He puts his hands out. How on earth did that happen? The old Tottenham favourite holds his head in his hands as Crooks shot. Well, look at that. Through those gloved hands, gently reaching the back of the net, but only just. And Spurs go into the lead with probably the most astonishing goal that Pat Jennings has ever had scored against him. Just can't believe it. Well, you need to look at it again just to believe it. Poor old Pat. Waiting for a bit of support to come alongside him. Sunderland certainly very active up front, and Sunderland trying to get away from Miller. He was held back by Miller and lashed out with his feet as he tried to get by. 6 of one, a half a dozen of the other without any doubt at all. Miller, the first offender, bodily pulling Sunderland back. And Sunderland wasn't very wise in lashing out. And Neil Midgley really having strong words for the Arsenal striker. So what the referee may not have seen was the part that Paul Miller played in it just a moment before. Although maybe he did, because he gave a free kick to Arsenal. And a bit of shoving and barging going into that wall. David O'Leary, normally the mildest of men, getting on the wrong side of Ricky Villa. And the referee now sorting that one out. Now, rather Hollins behind this. And Ricks also. Ricks more likely to curl it. Hollins more likely to blast it. And the two men in the wall there might just be dummies who jump out of the way and allow Hollins to drive it. In fact, he drove it straight at the Tottenham players. Sunderland, a little ducking header there, on for Graham Rix, under that favoured left foot. Rix. Rix claims to hit the arm of the Spurs defender. The referee didn't want to know, and Hoddle now trying to get Crooks on his way again. Can this be number 2? It must be for Crooks. No, he can't quite make it. Bad luck for him. A tremendous breakthrough, and he's lifted it over Pat Jennings. It looked for a moment as though the angle might be just right for him to add the last formal touch. It wasn't to be. What a ball again from Hoddle. And Crooks, who has looked so sharp and piercing in every run he's made, but that time the agony as well. Now Paul Davis, possibly a chance for Arsenal to break away right on the stroke of half-time, but Davis misjudged his pass, and here are Spurs with Hoddle. For Crooks. Oh, against the post! That's twice he's hit the woodwork in this first half, as well as scoring. And if that had gone in, that might well have been the end for Arsenal right on the stroke of half-time. Could hardly have been closer. Crooks, having beaten Jennings, hits the post, back across the 6-yard area, and Jennings gathers it with glee. No foul. Hoddle there. It's pass finding Villa. Trying to work it to this side to pick up Houghton. It's got Galvin here now. So Galvin going all the way, using his strength well, and Collins brings him down, looks apprehensively for a moment there towards the linesman and the referee. Although the crowd were howling for a penalty, neither of the officials gave any indication that was what was in their mind. Falco. That's Talbot. Now Hollins. Little look up to see what's available, and in fairness, there wasn't much on for him. But here's Sunderland making a good run from the back for Arsenal, and a chance for Alan Sunderland. And Spurs, for a moment, were caught wide open at the back as Sunderland, Davis and Rix were all charging in there. And I thought for a moment the ball had fallen for Sunderland. At that moment there, but it just went away, and Spurs scrambled it clear. But certainly that close shave was enough to inspire Arsenal fans, and in turn to get the Spurs fans behind their team, as Falco finds Galvin. And a free kick given against John Hollins and Arsenal to Tottenham. It'll be our dealers with it. Throw one deep towards Falco. Well, Falco's great gift of being where it matters on the end of goal-scoring possibilities was almost shown to good effect there. A good floated free kick from our dealers. And look how close. Hollins with the throw. Sunderland. Our dealers. Hoddle. A right foot shot perhaps. Just over. Reining in their shots from long range whenever it's possible, Tottenham. And Arsenal still at the moment cannot find a really worthwhile challenging attack. Hoddle just too high there. Hobson. Getting the better of Hoddle. Now taking on our dealers. Ball falling for Sunderland. Talbot was in there too. And a foul given against Roberts for his challenge on Brian Talbot. And Arsenal now get a free kick about 28, 29, 30 yards out. Again, they're left with a choice, maybe of Rix trying something fancy and Hollins trying something a little more direct. Hollins runs over it, Rix curls it, and Clements forced to save it. That would have just crept in by the far post. But obviously the Tottenham wall had been lined up well. Clements knew the area that he had to look after. And it wasn't that difficult to save in the end. Played wide for Houghton, but I think he might just keep it in. Yes, he has. Yes, he has. And he might well be rewarded because he's got a few up there, including Crooks. He's not away yet. Jennings doing his best, battling outside the box, and Jennings is down injured. Now what happens? As Crooks turns it in, Arsenal want to get it away and surely want to get it out of play. It's not out of play yet. Jennings is still down. It's in Spurs' interest to keep the ball in play. Arsenal must try and keep it out, but now the referee has decided that's enough of that. The whistle has gone and Jennings can get some treatment. Well, Pat Jennings had come storming out of his goal here after Garth Crooks. There he went, not content with that, he went again, and that's where he seemed to injure himself, and suddenly Arsenal were in terrible trouble. They got this on away, but the goal is basically unattended. And there's a stretcher for Pat Jennings. That's a desperate sight for one of the game's pros and one of the most friendly of characters, who's had a nightmare here today after that shot from Garth Crooks slipped through his hands, and now as he tried to challenge Crooks outside the area, he gets himself injured, and suddenly Arsenal have a mighty problem. A goal down, a goalkeeper off, and a substitute about to come on, and it's Nicholas who is going to go into goal. Cup tie against Spurs with Pat Jennings in obviously a lot of pain, hobbling out of this game and getting a tremendous round of applause, it has to be said, from the Arsenal fans. You look at them behind that goal, that's the measure of the respect they have for the man. Maybe his mistake will cost him a cup tie. Maybe they also remember the many games that he's won for them with some brilliant people. It's all Spurs now. Huta leading by a goal to nil. Hoddle crossed in once more. Crooks! And the flag was up as Crooks, with a bullet header, in fact it never went into the goal. Well, that's an optical illusion for you. That's amazing from this angle. It looked as though it was nestling in the back of the goal. A few thousand Spurs fans thought so as well. But there you have it. The camera cannot lie. And Nicholas was not beaten. Our dealers. Galvin still trying to curl one, and Nicholas saved it. Herriman. Sanson. Well, our dealers got lost there. Ricks played it forward. Clements quickly out of his goal. Not over yet. There it is. Spurs have beaten their old rivals. The goal by Garth Crooks in the first half that crept through the arms and the hands of Pat Jennings. The holders go through to round 4. Their supporters are jubilant, not only with a cup tie victory, but against the oldest of enemies. Sporting gestures there from the Arsenal skipper David O'Leary and young Stuart Robson. The game played in a good spirit, by no means a classic, but for Tottenham, the best possible result. A nightmare for Pat Jennings, his mistake led to the only goal, and then finds himself carried off with what looked to be a thigh injury some 10 minutes from the end. Final score then at White Hart Lane in this third round FA Cup tie. It's Spurs 1, Arsenal 0.
First half. Knocked away by Roberts. Some desperate arguing now going on between the players. Eddie Gray's incensed. Roberts isn't happy. 3 is Frankie Gray. It's Stevenson standing in front of the ball. Moves out of the way. Frankie Gray. Oh, a good hit and a good save by Clements. Leeds work the free kick so well. Stevenson stood in front of the ball and Frankie Gray hit it through, and Clements had to produce a good save. That tremendous save by Ray Clements kept Tottenham alive in a first half in which they'd seemed to lack urgency. But there was a new look about Spurs at the start of the second half. Dealers. Cherry's head, that'll be a corner if it goes, and it did. Falco lifting his arms there. Crooks! Good save by Lukic. A point-blank header for Garth Crooks. Where was the defender to deny him that? Did everything right, but Lukic had seen it and pushed it away off his chest. Tottenham's best chance coming right at the start of the second half. Perryman. Now Hoddle, who one has to say has had somewhat of an indifferent game up till this stage. But that's a lovely ball for Falco. Falco! Well, I suppose in that one moment, we saw everything about Glenn Hoddle. He's not had a good game, but one pass there, the entire half length of the field, putting Falco free. He managed to get round hard and scooped it behind. Brooks is underneath this. Linesman is flagged, the referee has waved on. Villa gets space in the box. Crooks, surely this time. Galvin. Despairing defence by Leeds, but effective. The bodies were in the way, and Crooks couldn't get the shot on target. And Spurs about to make a substitution. It's Mark Falco who's going off. And Mike Hazard, the substitute who's coming on for his debut in the FA Cup. Oh, and a good ball, finds our dealers. Crooks. Here. Hazard. Has he done enough? Galvin surely nods it back for Crooks. What a terrific goal by Tottenham. Garth Crooks breaks the deadlock, but the credit goes to Hazard, the substitute who came on just a few moments ago. And there's a feeling of relief. A marvellous bit of football by Hazard. He got free, he made space, he got the cross in. Galvin did the sensible thing, nodded it back to Crooks, who knocked it past Lukic. 73 minutes gone, and Spurs ahead 1-0. The goal they've threatened all this second half. And White Hart Lane begins to celebrate. And this is Butterworth. Hoddle. He nutmegs Byron Stevenson. Villa was a bit casual. Frankie Gray. Arthur Graham was onside. Oh, Butterworth threw himself at that. He'd only needed a touch. Substitutes are all about using them well and using them right. And Keith Birkinshaw takes full marks for putting on Mike Hazard. It's a Leeds ball. Indeed, it's a Leeds free kick. Just under a quarter of an hour remaining. Frankie Gray to take this free kick for Leeds, who pushed everybody forward. Gary Hampson. Burns. Byron Stevenson. This is Trevor Cherry who's looking up. Paul Hart! The goal yawned big and wide. The big man Paul Hart got in the header but didn't direct it well enough. Pursued by Stevenson. And Burns has come across too. Mr. Chet. Chris Hughton. Hoddle. Waved on. Hazard to Ricky Villa. This is number 2, surely. It hit Lukic's outstretched leg. And Spurs are now beginning to find space, and one can only think that Leeds have started to tire under relentless pressure. No offside. Hart. Well, Ricky Villa might feel that he should have done better with that chance a few moments ago, when he could only knock the ball against Lukic's legs. Brooks gets a kick from Cherry. Hazard. Galvin's got free of Burns. Got to give it to Crooks, surely. He should have given it to Garth Crooks. That should have been number 2. Galvin robbing Kenny Burns. And we've gone into injury time. Gray with the free kick for Leeds. Looking for Paul Hart, who fell down. There's the final whistle. The Spurs go marching on. Tottenham, with that goal by Garth Crooks in the second half, beating Leeds 1-0. So for the second cup tie in succession, Garth Crooks gets the telling goal. His goal that beat Arsenal, and his goal that has beaten Leeds and put Spurs into the 5th round. Shaking hands with Kenny Burns. But I think the Spurs players would agree that Hazard, the substitute, deserves a lot of credit for the fact that Spurs go into the hat for the 5th round draw on Monday. A final score here at White Hart Lane of Tottenham.
Galvin's begun a run to the left, marked by Swain, who fouled him. Quickly taken, and Galvin's on his way again. Quick free kick from Houghton, 3 in the middle. It's Crooks. Falco's unmarked far post, if he can be found. Perryman. And Villa almost caught out for not concentrating when Swain gave away the original free kick. Hoddle. Ardiles. Mortimer for the Villa. Morley. Morley made room for the shots. Well, he had his disagreements with the previous manager. One wonders whether Tony Morley can settle down sufficiently now to play his way into the England World Cup squad, which is certainly his ambition. Houghton. Roberts. Oh, that's a case of the bite a bit rather there. Roberts, who was guilty of a trip a little earlier, fouled this time by Gordon Cowans. Here's Houghton. Ardiles trying to slide it through again for Houghton! Chris Houghton scored a goal in the FA Cup 5th round exactly a year ago today against Coventry, and he might well have scored there. So Galvin this time. Up goes Roberts with the goalkeeper and fouls him. This is Evans. With calling for the long ball down the centre. Houghton with plenty of time. Back again by Evans. And a foul by Geddes on Houghton. That was Galvin. And here's Crooks. Price. Crooks again. Put up by Des Bremner. In goes Roberts with Evans. Back by Ardiles, on by Hoddle. Price now. Houghton. Price to Ardiles. Price continued his run superbly there. He found Crooks in the end. And Falco! Mark Falco, the scourge of Aston Villa. 2 goals in the Charity Shield, the first goal here today. But what a part Paul Price played in that. He came from way back, survived 2 tough challenges, stormed on, finally got the ball out to Crooks. The cross was perfect, so was the header. And Falco puts Tottenham ahead after 33 minutes. Bremner. Cowens. Mortimer. With. Villa coming back quickly here with Bremner. And Ardiles back by his own goal line. Well, what a season they're having at White Hart Lane. Already through to Wembley in the League Cup. A goal up here in the FA Cup 5th round. And the quarter-finals of Europe still to come. What a time to build a new stand. Here's Roberts. Oh, and Rimmer seemed to go late. The important thing was that Rimmer made it in the end. Didn't look to have a lot of power from Graham Roberts. But that could be deceptive from here, the angle on the ball. Geddes. And a good break by Aston Villa, this, particularly on this side with Tony Morley, as Bremner takes on Houghton on the far side. Villa have got 5 players forward now, but Houghton defending well. Tony Galvin showing his pace. Finding Crooks. Nicely played there between Mortimer and With. And now Morley. Geddes in space, but surely somebody was offside, and if it wasn't Geddes, it was With further over. Roberts. Here's Cowens. Roberts thought he should have had a free kick, but it won't matter because the referee blows for half-time. With Spurs leading by 1-0, scored in the 33rd minute by Mark Falco. A fair reflection of their superiority, although Aston Villa have certainly lacked nothing in determination, and so far it's been a good cup tie. So many omens seem to be going with Spurs these days, and since the war they've played Aston Villa 5 times in cup competitions before today. Spurs have won them all. They're winning this one by the single goal. Here's Houghton. Ardiles. Crooks off the heels of Evans. Here's Galvin. Character was a word often used in conjunction with Aston Villa when Ron Saunders was the manager, and there's no reason why it should change in a matter of days. With piling in with the defenders, and in doing so he concedes another free kick. Houghton. This is Miller. Attackers trying to get free. Falco, the target, got a flick on it. Crooks is coming in. Evans was with him. Galvin. Houghton, Ardiles to his right. Houghton again. Falco, Ardiles. Well taken out by Jimmy Rimmer. Lovely build-up by Tottenham. It was patient and precise. And when the ball was played back to Ardiles, it was a good effort and a fine save. Steve Archibald very pensive, wondering perhaps when his chance will come to get back into the first team action. At naught. Bremner's in there with Houghton. With is coming in as well. This is Swain. Now it's Cowans. The block was by Roberts. And this is Mortimer. Bremner. Again, a good ball into Peter With. Morley out left. Tricking his way inside to still Morley. Mortimer now. And wide again for Swain. With coming, and so too was Clements. And Clements goes down, and Peter With apologising profusely. An old-fashioned collision between goalkeeper and centre-forward, but the important thing from Clements' point of view was that he got the ball away with that punch. Williams tracking back with Ardiles. Here's Hoddle. Slightly lazy one, that from Hoddle. And Aston Villa have had something to bite on these last few minutes. Plenty of possession, more than in the first half. Here's Morley. Mortimer. Bremner. With Swain. Taking on Galvin. And Tottenham will be pleased to see that go out for a goal kick, because those last few minutes were somewhat breathless back there. And Clements' punch, as Peter With closed in, was an important piece of goalkeeping in a tight match. Played by David Geddes to Des Bremner. Peter With pulls away in the centre. There are two others there as well. One of them was Geddes, and the tackle was by Roberts. Spurs were about to substitute Crooks, I think, then. But Graham Roberts has gone down injured, so that could mean a change of decision on the bench. Back again with Gordon Cowans, and they're still in there. One of them was Ken McNaught, who took a tumble, came out to Morley. Hoddle got the ball away for Tottenham. Here's Crooks. Well, that's all rather rough and ready by Alan Evans. The situation regarding Garth Crooks that he took a knock on Wednesday, and he's now gone off to be replaced by the man who enjoyed such a fruitful partnership with Crooks last season, and that's Steve Archibald. Very popular with the crowd. He's been out since the 5th of December, and now with 12 minutes to go, he's on as number 12. Here's Hoddle. Nicely done by Hoddle. Can he pull it back? Dear me. Wimmer and Falco having a little tussle with the goalkeeper, tried to clear the ball. It was Hoddle's good work earlier. Here's Bremner. Oh, Houghton took him there. It was the second time Houghton's been guilty of that, and that's got to mean a booking, surely. Evans is up there, so is With. This is Morley. McNaught. Cowan's deflection, off, and Clements did well to get across. It's in tight matches such as these that Ray Clements' presence has made such a big difference at times for Spurs this season. Archibald. Roberts charging through the midfield and overcommitting himself, giving Evans the chance to break for Aston Villa. Morley's on this side now. Well, the linesman said it didn't go. It has now, and it's a goal kick, is it? Oh, the dispute is over whether the ball was out the first time for a throw, and he says no. Evans actually wondered about a possible corner, and that's got a no as well. So it would appear that Spurs are fairly safe. Galvin to Falco. Well, I think Alan Evans has been possibly the man of the match, even though it looks as though he might finish on the losing side. He can't wait to get on with it. And what a week it's been for Spurs. Keith Birkinshaw through to Wembley in the League Cup, through now to the last 8 in the FA Cup, of which they're the holders. Falco's goal decisive in this match. And for Ray Clements, the record goes on. 900 minutes of League Cup and FA Cup football this season without conceding a goal. No wonder the crowd sing at the end of another successful cup tie. It's involved in that last move. Here's Fillery. Working it with Pates. Fillery again. Drive there by Alan Mays, who felt it was deflected. Mays, who's been to League Cup semi-finals with Watford and Swindon, hoping to reach an FA Cup semi-final with Chelsea. And he certainly seized his chance from Fillery's pass to hit that with his left foot. Was it deflected? He thought it was. Rhodes-Brown, what a fine ball. Mays this is. Pates and Walker are making ground in the centre for Chelsea. Walker's come near post, and Pates, and it came off Paul Miller. The ball in was good from Alan Mays. Clive Walker at the near post might have capitalised. Colin Pates tried to. Deflection off Miller for a corner. Hoddle with the header out. Straight back to Rhodes-Brown. Bumstead up. And Galvin for Spurs. It's been end-to-end stuff in the first half. And here's Hazard again in space. Here's Crooks. Hazard coming through again. This is Perryman. Oh, and Archibald goes in, and Hazard goes in, and the ball wouldn't go in for Spurs. And they can't work out why nobody got a proper shot in. Chelsea are relieved, but they've still got some defending to do here. Archibald. Ardiles. And away by Pates for Chelsea. What a fine ball to Walker, who's got space in which to work. Mays in the centre. Fillery getting forward now. Still Clive Walker. And that took a deflection. And Chelsea have a corner. Strong, surging individual run by Clive Walker. It's come to Hutchings. Mays. And Glenn Hoddle blocking Hutchings. His defensive contribution was there to see, but it didn't matter actually, because the linesman on the far side had flagged for an offside against Chris Hutchings. Paul Miller now for the FA Cup holders Spurs. Oh, it beat Chivers, and here's Archibald, and Chivers got a foot in, and Archibald did as well. Well, Gary Chivers got caught, first of all, by that floating high ball. Archibald comes in, Chivers gets a foot in, it also touches Nutton, and Archibald with his left foot, the wrong side of the post. On by Pates to Walker. Now Bumstead. Referee already blown, giving Chelsea the free kick. Fillery, who's been known to strike them from here. Three Chelsea players mingling with the Tottenham wall in front of Clements. And he wants them further back, the Tottenham players. Perryman is debating with the referee. Fillery wants to line the shot up. He's got Rhodes Brown to his left. He drives it. Oh, what a goal! Fillery produces the goal that matters for Chelsea. Ray Clements is beaten in a domestic cup tie for the first time this season. The first goal Spurs have let in either the FA Cup or the League Cup, and it's scored by Mike Fillery. What a shot! He waited his time, drove it with his left foot, and it flew through that crowd of players and beat Clements right in the corner. And the Chelsea fans have got something to celebrate now. What a good time to score if they can keep their nerve until the break. Minutes the record stood at, and Clements is beaten at last, and Chelsea get their teeth into this cup tie now with a vengeance. Well, Chelsea have beaten Liverpool. Can they beat Tottenham? And the referee blows for half-time, and the half ends on a high note for Chelsea and Mike Fillery. Spurs, the holders, go in a goal down, and the Chelsea fans have enough now to keep them talking throughout the half-time interval. John Neal, who's been to the 6th round with Wrexham and Middlesbrough as a manager, He's 45 minutes away from a semi-final now with Chelsea. Spurs with so much to fight for here. They don't want to lose their hold on the FA Cup. They don't want to lose the first of those 4 targets or their unbeaten 14-match run. Here's Hoddle. Ardiles, Hoddle. 4 in the middle for him. Archibald. Ardiles. It was deflected off Pates. Took the sting out of the shot from Ardiles. Fillery. Perryman for Spurs. There's Locke's interception, but here's Crooks. Houghton. Tottenham with no option but to push forward. Hazard. Crooks looks to his right and finds Ardiles, who finds Galvin. Hutchings with the header away. Ardiles. Crooks. Appeals for handball by Mickey Nutton. Right on the edge. Now, will this be a case of the bite a bit? Fillery now has got to help line the wall up, because Spurs have the free kick in what is normally the territory of Hoddle or Ardiles. Ardiles to Hazard, to Hoddle. Good save by... Oh, and Archibald! Archibald's got his first goal since he came back. It was a gift, really, but he was on hand. And unlucky Steve Francis, the 17-year-old keeper. The ball was played to Hoddle. The shot along the ground, Francis got his hands to it, couldn't hold it. And Archibald makes it 1-1 for Spurs. Well, all he needed was a goal, Keith Birkinshaw said, to bring him back to his best form. We shall see now. Both goals coming from free kicks. Underlining again the vast importance of set-piece play. Foul by Hoddle as the game gets a little rough. And Chelsea anxious to get on with it. Referee allowing them to do so. Ardiles. Well, that was a typical Archibald goal. He hovers around the 6-yard box, hoping for rebounds exactly like that. Ardiles. Perryman. Ardiles goes again. Oh, that was Pates with him. I would imagine every time a defender concedes a free kick now within 30 yards of goal, there are bound to be a few butterflies in the penalty area. The way the game has gone. Hoddle again to take. Up goes Miller. Oh, dear me. Well played by Fillery. Not the best of balls to Pates, but he made something of it. Ardiles got back to challenge. Hutchings for Chelsea. Mays. Rhodes-Brown. Offside. And Tottenham got players back there. Hazard with a smile on his face. It's been a good-tempered match this, bearing in mind what's at stake. Well controlled by the referee and beautifully balanced at 1-1 between these great London rivals, Spurs of the First Division and Chelsea of the Second. Houghton for Tottenham. Archibald, little flick for Hazard. Hoddle moving up on the right. Hoddle's shot. Oh! What a goal! A beautiful move by Tottenham, and Glenn Hoddle fires in their second to turn this cup tie on its head. They came out for the second half a goal behind, and now they're a goal in front. And it was an educated move, which says so much about the Spurs. Little flick there, on by Archibald to Hazard, out to Hoddle, and in that space, he's lethal. Right across the keeper, Spurs are ahead. After 55 minutes, Fillery for Chelsea. Rhodes-Brown. And just when we thought the second half might be an examination of Tottenham's character, Glenn Hoddle's goal means it's going to be an examination of Chelsea's. The ground absolutely buzzing now. Walker. Here's Pates. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. This is Archibald. Well, Fillery never intended to do that. Here's Galvin. Crooks, it'll touch inside to Houghton. Opening for a shot by Houghton. Oh, what a fine save by the 17-year-old keeper. Chris Houghton foiled by Francis. After an extraordinary slice by Fillery had put Chelsea in trouble on the far side, Tottenham attacked. Houghton found room for the shot, and great reflexes by this emerging young goalkeeper who hasn't allowed the two goals to affect him, it would seem. Away by Nutton, it's going to come to Galvin. Oof. And the player who it struck was a Tottenham colleague who's flat out in the penalty area. Paul Price. Galvin. Look at the length on that. Hoddle. He shook off Fillery there. And he made room for Hazard. And they just can't stop Glenn Hoddle. Hazard the scorer, his second important goal in a matter of days. But Fillery lost out to Hoddle, and that's where it cost Chelsea dear. Because Hoddle set the chance up and Hazard buried the shot. And now he's had a hand in all three goals. And has made what looked like a difficult match for Tottenham into what could prove to be, thanks to Hazard's goal, a comfortable one. We shall see. They've scored 3 goals in the first 16 minutes of the second half. Fillery for Chelsea. And here's Walker, and there's Pates, and a chance there, but oh, it's there! Alan Mays gets one back. Tottenham lost their concentration, and Clement's beaten by Mays. The ball played in from the left, and Tottenham didn't defend well there. Walker got a touch on it. It came back to Pates, his shot was blocked, and Mays beat Clements inside his near post. Wow. Chelsea with an instant reply, bringing this cup tie now to a crescendo, which seems to speak for the size of the occasion. The match has now met that. We've seen 5 goals, and who goes through to the semi-final? Well, thanks to that quick reply by Chelsea, it's still in doubt. Chipped in again by Hoddle for Archibald. Chivers this is for Chelsea. Now Rhodes-Brown to Fillery. And Hutchings. And Hazard. And Hoddle. Oh, given away by Bumstead to Hoddle, and he's found Archibald, and he's made room for perhaps a chance. Well played the goalkeeper, he forced him wide, but Tottenham are still threatening. Galvin. There's Crooks on the far post, heading it back, but not far enough back for Hazard. Good piece of goalkeeping by Steve Francis there to foil Archibald. He really came well, because if Archibald had put that away, then at 4-2, surely Tottenham would have had the lead they need. As it is, Chelsea are still in there with a great chance. And there's going to be a substitution. It's Clive Walker who is going off. Presumably he's taken a knock of some sort. An attacker goes off, and the substitute is Dennis Rofe, who hasn't played in the first team since late September, had a long injury problem. Well, the dying embers of this cup tie now. Referee will be looking at his watch any moment to check that the 90 minutes are up. And it'll be a question of stoppages, as the sting would appear to have gone out of Chelsea. And Spurs would appear to be ending the match in their most measured stride. But not without a few hiccups along the way, I might add. Do they appear to be going into the semi-final? A fine cup tie, and Glenn Hoddle has a hand in the 3 goals which Spurs scored in 14 minutes, which effectively for Keith Birkinshaw and his team sealed this cup tie, that spell, and enabled them to go on with their assault on 4 trophies. Chelsea fought so well, admirably, in the absence of Droy and Lee. They played a major part in making this a memorable match. Hoddle thanks the fans. Let's hope they behave on their way home, because the players certainly played their part on the pitch, with a final score at Stamford Bridge of Chelsea 2, Tottenham 3, and Spurs go into the semi-final.
Captain Steve Perryman. Crooks. Perryman continued that run and got the early ball in, but O'Neill was on the end of it for Leicester. Spurs with the throw. And they are making a substitution, Leicester. And it's Alan Young, who was in the wars quite early in the game and has been hobbling a little bit lately, who goes off. And it's Jim Melrose, who got a couple of goals in the last round against Shrewsbury and has scored 11 this season, who's come on. And it's a strictly 1-for-1 substitution so far as strikers are concerned. There's a corner off Paul Fryer for Tottenham. Hoddle again will take it. Roberts, and this time Price has come forward as well. Played for our dealers. Coming into Crooks! Brilliantly executed corner and a brilliantly taken goal. What a glorious moment for Tottenham, and a superb strike by their number 11, Garth Crooks, and a moment to savour for the thousands of Tottenham's fans. The corner played short to our dealers, the little chip in, and there's the volley wide of Wallington, and Crooks has put Spurs into the lead. Leicester 0, Spurs 1. His 15th goal. He'd been out for a little while with a knee injury, but that right boot was perfection just a moment ago. And even before Leicester, who made the substitution, even before Jim Melrose, the substitute, the number 12 there, had even had a touch of the ball. Now he's hustling our dealers, And Spurs get a free kick for the foul on the Argentinian. And Leicester fans beginning to rally around their team still more. Their finishing, for all their effort, has not been brilliant. And now they've got to find a sharpness that gets a goal. So our Spurs on their way to Wembley for a fourth time in a little over a year. Leading now by a goal to nil. Fryer on the ball for Leicester. O'Neill, a little too slow, and Archibald getting the better of him. Well, there's got to be some action taken there. Archibald was pulled back by the Leicester number 6, and as you can see, the referee is getting the book out, and O'Neill goes in. Just when it looked as though Archibald was wriggling free, it's a free kick, and Leicester have 10 men back. Hoddle with this kick. A little chip coming in, a flag is up, and a free kick to Leicester. And the Leicester skipper wants Leicester to lift themselves and get themselves back into the game. Deliberate handball there by Houghton. And the referee calling him to him, and another booking. Absolutely needless that by Chris Houghton. I don't know why he did it. Deliberate handball, a name take, a free kick. Tommy Williams with it. Finds John O'Neill. O'Neill this time getting Lineker on the far side. Goal kick. And I think Glenn Hoddle just catching the Leicester number 8 as he went by him on the heel. Brooks, Hazard. It's Perriman. Huddle. Archibald. It's a Tottenham throw. Archibald trying to get the better of O'Neill. Hazard likewise. Another corner for Tottenham. Their 12th of the game, which is double the number that Leicester have had. Now Huddle. Cut out by Wilson. Tottenham's throw. Dealers. Fryer's throw. Price's interception. A header by Wilson. And Lineker on the break again for Leicester. Trying to get to that byline. Succeeds in doing so. Galvin held it up for a moment and Houghton got it away. But for a moment, Spurs look to be in a bit of trouble. But here's Hazard for them. And now Crooks. Hazard again. An advantage played by the referee, but it falls in the end for Leicester. And Linex with a chance. And he's put it wide. And that was a chance. So the Mongrels, as Jock Wallace called his team, are fighting back. And that really was a chance for Linex that in the end went well wide of the far post. That's a Tottenham throw. And it leaves Tommy Williams in a bit of distress. but sufficiently off the field, I would think, yes indeed, for the referee to say we're going to go on. Houghton, Crooks, Hazard. This will come for Galvin, and a lot of space with Tommy Williams still out of action. Finding Hazard. A bit weak down that side of the field at the moment, Leicester City. Here's Hommel with all the tricks, finding Hazard. And still Williams out of the action as Hommel flicks one in there. Crooks trying to get in behind that back four, and Kelly getting it away. Well, that is desperate news for Leicester City. Tommy Williams on a stretcher, and Leicester a goal down, now reduced for the last quarter of an hour to 10 men. Well, you have to say, if Spurs can keep their discipline going and their running, they should eventually arrive through to another Wembley final with this goal advantage and time running out and against 10 men. Should arrive, but will they? Here's Galvin. Strong challenge there by Linex, but Galvin has the strength as Linex comes back at him again, and he's gone past Larry May as well. Crossed in once more towards Hazard and Crooks, and it's an own goal by Wilson. Commiserations there from Archibald, and if Leicester's troubles weren't enough, that puts the seal on it. Well, Galvin went past May, he played a ball in, and in fact hit it straight at Wilson, who aimed a pass back at his goalkeeper. Look at this. Gently over Wallington's head, neatly into the back of the net. Misery for Leicester, and Spurs already beginning to celebrate another appearance at Wembley. Poor Ian Wilson. Hasn't scored this season for Leicester, but he's put one in the wrong net now. Galvin, that's a foul, and it wasn't a very pleasant one either by Linex. I think Leicester have a feeling, which is a view I don't share, that Galvin was responsible for Tommy Williams. It looked as though it was a 50-50 challenge, I must say, from my angle. Galvin on Williams. And Linex maybe was seeking a little bit of revenge. Well, here's Galvin again. Here's Houghton. And here's Crooks. Oh, and here's Houghton, and it could have been three. And I think it's all up now for Leicester, with Spurs about to make a substitution, and they're going to bring on defender Paul Miller as Houghton puts that chance wide. And they're going to take off Graham Roberts from the centre of the back four. Is he hobbling a little bit as he goes off? Roberts is going off, in any case, getting a standing ovation from the Spurs fans. They know the debt Spurs owe to him. When things looked a little bit rocky once or twice in this game, a really big, strong character, as indeed is Paul Miller, who's come on to replace him at the centre of the defence. Crooks. And Fryer. Oh, Huddle's got the better of him. And there are men waiting in the middle. Oh, there's a foul by young Paul Fryer on Huddle, which is incurring the wrath of the Spurs fans right behind him there. And the 18-year-old's name goes into the book for the foul on Hummel. Don't think he can complain. Hummel with the free kick. Galvin poised outside the box. Paul Miller's going in there as well, and he's hit powerfully but straight at the keeper. Fryer. Stopped by our dealers. About 3 minutes left. Hommel. Houghton to Hazard. Perryman. Still Perryman, and a little touch for Archibald. A good save. Ardiles. I don't think their heart is really in it at the moment now, Leicester. I think they realise that it's a foregone conclusion, and a deflection there for a moment I thought was going to embarrass Wallington. Just a couple of minutes remaining. Houghton putting it away for a Leicester throw. Melrose still full of running. The substitute. Finding Peake. Houghton. And that should be a Tottenham throw. It is. Spurs fans getting behind Ossie Ardiles. There's only one Ardiles, they're saying, in response to a lot of booing that's come his way from the Leicester fans this afternoon. Ardiles, who's now playing his last game before he goes back to Argentina to join the Argentine World Cup squad, but they have said he could be back for the final. May. Rice with a header, and Kelly. And Peake here. Now with a left-foot drive, just wide of that Tottenham goal. Last minute of the game now. Referee looking at his watch. Spurs fans already getting to their feet, already beginning to clap and chant a victory chorus as Crooks chases the ball again to the byline. Support by Galvin, but wanting Linex to make his challenge. Well, they certainly know the way to Wembley, all right. It'll be the fourth time in a little over a year. They've made it. The holders are back at Wembley again, Spurs, with the goals by Crooks, and then that tragic own goal by the Leicester midfield player, Ian Wilson. Jock Wallace and Keith Birkinshaw, who were both together way back at Workington. Now they've been on a much bigger stage, and it's Birkinshaw who's beaten Wallace and his second division Leicester City side. The two managers go off. A game played overall in a pretty good spirit. And Spurs just pulling out those goals when it mattered most, when it looked as though the running and the competitive spirit of Leicester might take them into extra time and maybe even further. So a full-time score here at Villa Park. Leicester City 0, Tottenham Hotspurs